Everyone, it's October 28th, so let's see what's going on in a lonesome October. I knew, but of course I had to check it out by laying it on the terrain. I strolled by most of the places I had visited yesterday, wondering who else might have figured it out yet. I saw the vicar and he saw me from a distance after Tekal had brought her notice of me to his attention in passing. He was just carrying a carton into the vicarage from a wagon, and he stopped to glare. He was still wearing the bandage on his ear. The great detective, Mrs. Enderby, happened to be in a tree in her yard with a pair of binoculars when I passed, and called out to me, "Snuff, please, come here." I kept going. The sun was shining intermittently through masses of clouds, yet more leaves, fallen and falling, were scudding in the breezes. I headed south. Bubbo had set up housekeeping in our basement, though he wandered the house with our leave and ate with me in the kitchen. "What became of the things in the mirror, or the mirror, for that matter?" he asked. So I told him the story of the attack following our trip to town, which led into the story of our trip to town. "Wouldn't have put it past the vicar," he said. "He's taken many a shot at me with that crossbow of his, and I never did anything to him except hunt through his dustbin on occasion. Is that cause to put an arrow into a fellow? I hope he fudges the final business, and you fellows blow him to oblivion." "Just how much do you know about the game, anyway?" I asked. "I've heard a lot. I've seen a lot. Everybody talked freely because they assumed I was part of it. After a time, I almost got the feeling I was," he reflected. "I know so much about it." And he proceeded to tell me the story of how a number of the proper people are attracted to the proper place in the proper year on a night in the lonesome October when the moon shines full on Halloween and the way may be opened for the return of the elder gods to earth, and of how some of these people would assist in the opening of the way for them while others would strive to keep the way closed. For ages the closers have won, often just barely, and there were stories of a shadowy man, half mad, a killer, a wanderer, and his dog who always showed up to attempt the closing. Some said that he was Cain himself, doomed to walk the earth, marked. Others said he'd made a pact with one of the elders who secretly wished to thwart the others. None really knew. And the people would acquire certain tools and other objects of power, meet together at the designated spot, and attempt to work their wills. The winners walked away. The losers suffered for their presumption by a reaction from the cosmic principles involved in the attempt. Then he named the players and their tools, adding an awareness of the calculation, of divinations, of magical attacks and defenses. "Bubbo," I said, "you have impressed me as few have impressed me, learning all of that without giving yourself away." "Rats have strong survival instincts," he said. "I needed to know all of this to stay safe in the area." "No, you didn't," I said. "You could have remained out of it and gone about your business. The deception itself was a lot more dangerous." "All right. I got curious about all these cryptic comments I kept hearing, probably too curious for my own good. What it was, I think, is that I enjoyed pretending I was playing too. I've never done anything important before. It felt good." "Come on," I told him. "Get up on my back and I'll take you to see the gypsies. Good music and all." We stayed late at the camp. I don't have that many friends, and it was a good evening. As I made my way to Dog's Nest, I came across another set of the huge, misshapen footprints on the hill's base. There were some up top, too. I wondered where the experiment man would go now, since his home had been destroyed. I made a circuit of the hilltop, drawing my lines again, laying them out upon the land, excluding the ruined farmhouse to the southwest now, which moved things considerably northward, taking into account the 2 satellite graves, trying it both with and without Larry's place in the formulation. With it, it came to another nothing wilderness spot. Without it, however, came a place already touched by the high powers. I was standing on it. It was here, Dog's Nest, amid the broken circle of stones, where the final act would take place. Larry was just a friend of the court. I threw back my head and howled. The design was complete. I departed quickly, skipping upon the hill. Midnight. "I found it, Jack," I said, and I told him Bubbo's story. "And subtracting the good doctor leaves us atop my hill," I concluded. "Of course the others will divine it within the next few days. And word will be passed. True, I can only recall one time where no one figured it out properly. My, that was long ago. Yes, and we all sat down to dinner together, made a joke of it, and went our ways. Such things are rare. Indeed. I think this will be a close one, Snuff. So do I. It's been a strange one from the start. This quality may carry through. Oh? Just a feeling. I trust your instincts. We must be ready for anything. Too bad about Jill and Greymalk. I've decided that I will stay friends with them to the end, I said. He squeezed my shoulder. As you would. It's not like Dijon, is it? I asked. No. Many odd things have happened this time around, he said. Stiff upper lip, friend. That is how I smile, I said.